Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. The gentleman from Massachusetts is
So, Madam
recognized.
Speaker, I don't think there's any controversy over the bill to make as much of the classified report unclassified that is possible. There's no controversy over that. But I want to make sure people understand, like who's responsible for actually doing the investigation. It was Joe Biden, not the previous president. And I want people to remember what the previous president said. On January 24th, 2020, Donald Trump said, quote, "China has been working very hard to contain the coronavirus. The United States greatly appreciates their efforts in transparency. It will all work out well. In particular, on behalf of the American people, I want to thank President Xi." I mean, really? And then on February 7th, 2020, Trump said, "I just spoke with President Xi last night, and you know, we're working on the problem, the virus. It is a very tough situation, but I think he's going to handle it. I think he's handled it really, really well. We're helping wherever we can." And then on February 7th, he said, "Just had a long and very good conversation on the phone with President Xi of China. He's a strong, sharp, and powerfully focused on leading the counterattack on the coronavirus. He feels they are doing very well, even building hospitals in a matter of only days. Great discipline is taking place in China as President Xi strongly leads what will be a very successful operation. We are working closely with China to help." Then he also said, "Late last night, I had a very good talk with President Xi, and we talked about mostly the coronavirus. They're working really hard, and I think they are doing a very professional job. They're in touch with the World Organization, CDC also. We're working together, but World Health is working with them. CDC is working with them. I had a great conversation last night with President Xi. It's a tough situation. I think they're doing a very good job." Then he said on February 10th, "I think China is very, professionally run in the sense that they have everything under control," Trump said. "I really believe they are going to have it under control fairly soon. And in April, supposedly it dies with the hotter weather. And that's a beautiful date to look forward to. But China, I can tell you, is working very hard." On February 13th, he said, "I think they've handled it professionally, and I think they're extremely capable, and I think President Xi is extremely capable, and I hope that it's going to be resolved." On February 23rd, President Trump said, "I think President Xi is working very, very hard. I spoke to him. He's working very hard. I think he's doing a very good job. It's a big problem, but President Xi loves his country. He's working very hard to solve the problem, and he will solve the problem okay." And then on February 29th, he says, "China seems to be making tremendous progress. Their numbers are way down. I think our relationship with China is very, very good. We just had a big trade deal. We're starting on another trade deal with China, a very big one, and we've been working very closely. They've been talking to our people. We've been talking to their people and having to do with the virus." And I ask unanimous consent to insert into the record an article from Politico entitled, "15 Times that Trump Praised China as Coronavirus Was Spreading Across the Globe."
Without objection.
Madam Speaker, I just want to remind my Republican colleagues that the leader of their own party repeatedly applauded China during the peak of the pandemic. And the bottom line is that, we should all be grateful that we have a president now that has actually launched an investigation to get to the bottom of this. And today, hopefully, we will, in a bipartisan way, vote to make as much of that investigation declassified as possible. But let's not forget the history here. And let's not forget who was praising China's reaction to the coronavirus, because I think it is important that we keep that in mind, especially listening to some of the rhetoric coming from the other side, and I reserve my time.
The gentleman